Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about a massive paradigm shift. You know, we're so used to thinking of digital creators as just, well, people making fun videos or posting cool photos online, right? But what if we completely flip that script? What if the very act of creating content wasn't just about chasing likes, but about laying down actual socioeconomic infrastructure? Today, we're going through the blueprint for something called the Creator Intelligence Network. It's a fascinating concept that literally redefines creators as the architects of the future.
Okay, let's dive into this. Right now, most of us just look at creators as mere entertainers. They're kind of seen as folks stuck in this endless loop of algorithmic distractions, just fighting for a couple fleeting seconds of our attention. But the sources we're exploring today, they challenge that perception entirely. They ask a really powerful question. What if creators are actually the architects of the future? To really wrap our heads around this, we've got to stop looking at social media as just a place to doom scroll and kill time, and start seeing it as a space to build durable digital assets and real-world solutions.
Which brings us to Section 1, the creator identity shift from consumer to builder. You see, the fundamental problem with how content creation works today is isolation. It's so isolated. Think about it. Every entrepreneur, designer, or educator out there might hold an incredible piece of a much larger blueprint in their mind, but because they're building all by themselves, that immense potential is just kind of wasted. So we need a major shift in how creators view themselves. Just look at the comparison here. On one side, we have the traditional influencer. Their main job is to entertain, and fundamentally, they build alone. Now contrast that with the architect on the right. An architect looks around, spots friction in society, solves problems, and, most importantly, builds together with others. This is a huge, game-changing jump from passive consumption to collaborative problem-solving.
To actually make this jump, a creator has to develop a creator identity. Think of it as an alter ego. It's a version of yourself entirely dedicated to creating value, solving problems, and building communities, rather than just sitting around waiting for permission to do something. It's that part of you that refuses to mindlessly consume content. Instead, this identity is all about intentional creation. It looks at algorithms, which, let's be honest, are usually designed to keep us distracted or divided, and actively chooses to use them to build a better reality by amplifying ideas and solutions.
Moving on to Section 2, decentralized human distribution system, scaling impact. Now let's zoom out a bit from the individual and look at the network effect, like what actually happens when thousands of these intentional creators link up. And this brilliantly illustrates the point. Uber took millions of independent car owners and completely scaled transportation. Airbnb took ordinary homes and scaled global hospitality. Following that exact same logic, the Creator Intelligence Network aims to scale human distribution. They're treating human creators as a decentralized distribution channel. So instead of relying on traditional top-down media gatekeepers, every single creator becomes this highly effective node for distributing knowledge and opportunities.
So what exactly is the Creator Intelligence Network, or C.I.N for short? Well, it's essentially a decentralized brain. Every member is a node that learns, shares, and coordinates campaigns. It entirely bypasses those traditional, often broken systems. Instead of just one person or one massive organization trying to force change from the top down, you have thousands of connected, independent nodes. Each node learns something incredibly valuable, shares it directly with their specific community, and boom, suddenly knowledge spreads, opportunities spread, and solutions spread completely organically. It's like a wildfire of value. And the sheer scale of this initial vision, it's all represented by this number right here, 10,000. The core mission is to align 10,000 creators, all acting in absolute unison. Just imagine that for a second. 10,000 architects launching businesses, spreading practical knowledge, and distributing real opportunities simultaneously. At that point, you're not just building a community anymore, you are literally constructing an entirely new distribution infrastructure.
Section 3, equipping the creator network. The curriculum.
So the big question is, how do you actually train 10,000 nodes to operate effectively? We're getting into the tactical execution phase now, looking at exactly what this network studies to actually build influence and wealth. You have to ground them in highly practical, sustainable economic and leadership skills. We're not talking about chasing fleeting viral dance trends here. To build durable digital assets, the network runs coordinated campaigns around serious pillars: financial literacy, emotional intelligence, legal and constitutional awareness, business development, systems thinking, and digital opportunity.
By equipping the nodes with this exact curriculum, the network guarantees that any influence they gain is backed up by genuine real-world utility.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, launching your first brand, the tactical execution. The sources lay out the exact journey for a member, using a standardized framework that transforms pure attention into durable digital assets. Step 1, start a brand new social media account. You want a completely clean slate. Step 2, develop that clear creator identity, or that alter ego we were talking about earlier. Step 3, publish consistently, utilizing that curriculum we just covered to provide real, undeniable value. And finally, Step 4, build a trusted audience and monetize the solutions you're providing. So the crucial point is, this isn't random. It's a deliberate, step-by-step pipeline taking you from absolute zero to a fully functioning creator business. But there is one very strict rule within this framework. Rule number 1, you must start with one. Before a creator can even think about expanding their reach or, talking about their 5 different hobbies, they have to build trust. And trust is earned and built one identity at a time. Your audience needs to know and trust you for one specific thing before they're ever going to follow you into other ventures. You've got to nail that first one. Section 5, building a creator portfolio. Evolution of the creator business. Now, once that baseline trust is established, the ceiling is completely removed. This is honestly a sneak peek into the true future of work, where creators don't just run one single brand, but manage an entire portfolio of independent businesses. Because hey, every person has multiple interests, right? So the network encourages you to build separate brands around each of those identities. For example, looking at the breakdown here, you could have a fashion brand entirely focused on styling, and you monetize that through your own clothing lines. Then, completely separate from that, you could be a creative guru focused on education, making your money through digital products. And then maybe a third, totally independent brand as a farmhead focused on gardening, where you sell physical agricultural products. It's one multifaceted creator, brilliantly segmenting their passions into highly targeted, completely independent revenue streams. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how this specialized approach unlocks incredibly diverse income sources. By not tossing all your random interests into one confusing, messy account, you open the doors to targeted brand deals, specific digital products, physical products, paid communities, and exclusive events. You essentially evolve from just being a content creator into being a holding company for your own digital assets. It's a total game changer. Section 6, Blueprint for National Transformation. The macro impact. All right, let's zoom all the way out now. The sources actually frame this whole concept as a way to impartially rebuild national economic infrastructure. They specifically cite Nigeria's future as an example, but honestly, this framework applies anywhere in the world. It relies on a very fundamental socioeconomic theory. Established systems only exist because we, the people, collectively agree to participate in them. Step 1 is collective belief. When people start to believe in a new way of doing things, it naturally leads to Step 2, collective behavior. Then, when enough people start behaving that way, it solidifies into Step 3, institutions. And eventually, those institutions become Step 4, systems. Think about it. Money only has value because we all agree it does. Roads are only infrastructure because communities build and use them. This network aims to utilize that exact same pipeline for massive change. And why is this so necessary? Well, as it says right here, every broken system creates unmet needs. Every unmet need is a problem waiting to be solved. The network takes a really pragmatic view here. They look at societal friction, a lack of infrastructure, or broken institutions, not as a reason for hostility, extremism, or just giving up. Instead, they see it as a massive entrepreneurial opportunity. Thousands of problems in society simply mean there are thousands of businesses just waiting to be built by these creators. Let's move to and see how this builds into a direct, highly logical pipeline. When creators provide solutions to these unmet needs, they generate value. That value directly translates and creates wealth. Then, that wealth generates influence. And finally, that influence creates real systemic change. It's an incredibly pragmatic approach to social transformation. You aren't sitting around asking for change. You are actively engineering it through economics and distribution. This really reinforces the core thesis of the entire manifesto. A system only becomes a system because enough people agree to participate in it. If 10,000 creators collectively choose a brand new way of learning, collaborating, and distributing knowledge, well, that alternative doesn't just disrupt the old system, it literally builds a new societal system from the ground up. It becomes the new infrastructure, which leaves us with the ultimate proposition of this whole explainer. The creators behind this massive movement are calling this collective action the signal, a broadcast meant to reach absolutely anyone out there who's searching for purpose, direction, and opportunity. So the question I'll leave you with is this. Are you ready to transition from being a passive consumer into an architect of the future? Will you help send the signal? Just think about the digital assets you could build, the real-world problems you could solve, and the future you could shape. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some incredible ideas for your own creator journey. Catch you next time.